Talking Heads podcast live from Pattaya, Thailand with your host Dave D.
And if you just joined us, welcome to Talking Heads podcast.live down here in Pattaya. We're back in the studio. We're just trying a few other things out. We've got a couple of people already sending us love arts, Dave, already. When you've been on, you got your headphones. Do you want them? So you can hear me. Would help.
I can hear you anyway.
I can do sign language.
Yeah.
If you've just joined us, we've been testing a few things today and talking about a few things as well. We've had a lot of comments in about airfares and things like that, Dave. I mean, what's your experience of, let's put it this way, before COVID and now? I mean, what changes have you seen?
I don't think you can compare, really. It's quite different. Although I think it is returning a little bit more to normal. I wish I could say the same for the actual price of the fares, but I think the getting through customs and things is comparable to pre-COVID now. But it was a hairy time immediately after COVID. I think my phone was full of apps saying that I'd had injections and whatever. And I was okay to travel, although I did, when I came here once a Christmas a few years ago, just pre-COVID, I did travel via Beijing. As a stopover, and was thoroughly ill for the rest of the trip. So I wouldn't say it was COVID, but my timing for discovering Beijing was misplaced.
We was talking about tickets earlier on today, and the ticket values, and a lot of people have sort of messaged us down at the studio saying how much it is compared to what it was prior COVID to now, and a lot of them are saying, like we said when we was talking off air, how much it's changed in the way of ticket prices, nearly 2.5 times the amount what it is. You were saying you used to pay how much? I used to allow for between £500 and £600 for a return flight from London to Suvarnabhumi, but now, well, the last time I came over two months ago. There was no change to be had out of £1,000, so at least it doubled. So what would you say? I mean, would you say the average guy coming over, say, let's from the UK, like we say, average guy coming over from the UK wants to stay in Pattaya for, say, 3 weeks, including flights? I mean, what kind of money do you think he needs? What would you say? I would say that, to have a reasonable time, you've got to have about £3,000 to £3,500. So, we've got a couple in here. Stevie's just in a message in. He says, Dave, we're coming over for 3 weeks. He says at least $3,000. So you're about on the mark here. We've got another one here that says, I've been here for 2 weeks now and cleared $2,500 already. Yeah, I mean, I've certainly spent a lot more since I've been here than I expected to. But part of that is because I've had a few things going wrong with the truck, which is sort of, you can't really allow for it. And the average person coming over for a 3-week holiday, isn't going to have to replace all sorts of parts on his truck. So would you say that like a grand English a week, is it 45,000 baht? Is that roughly around where we are? 45,000 a week is for I'm sending £500 to myself about every 5 days. Yeah. Yeah. So 5 days to a week. Yeah. I'm steaming through the money like it's going out. You're going more than a grand. And I'm. It's not as if I'm. Out in Walking Street every night. Ringing the bell or anything like that. So it's just going. But do you think? Now compared prior to COVID, the money value is devalued, doesn't it? You get less for your money now. You get less for your money. I think it's probably right to say we're getting slightly more baht to the pound than pre-COVID, but it's still not buying as much as it used to. That's for sure. It's value for money, though. We did a research on Pattaya One not so long ago about hotels and value for money. There's hotels here. We believe there's hotels here for as cheap as 350 baht a night. Yeah, and of course you can go right up to whatever price you want to pay. But the average price of an okay hotel, what would you say, Dave? 1,000 baht a night? Average?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on
Where
your
you stay.
standards. If you want to go to the Amari for the 5-day weekend, I think it would cost you slightly more.
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah.
come on, Dave. I mean, you got a tent and noodles.
But-
Come on.
I mean, it's not like the accommodation that was shown in the early part of the film The Beach. On is it Khao Road?
Leo DiCaprio.
Yeah. The roaches everywhere and God knows what. I mean, it's I think it's possible to
PP Island, is that?
No.
Wasn't
Well, yes, the latter part of the film, The Beach, was
sure.
filmed at PP Island, and then they decided to not allow anyone there for several years because of the damage done by the filming. But I think it's reopened.
It was a coral, wasn't it?
I think it's reopened.
Now. I think everybody was sort of diving in there, and the corals were getting broken, and the place
I
was disarray.
don't think the price of hotels here is prohibitive by any stretch of the imagination.
I think the hotel prices have gone down.
Right.
I
maybe
really do.
My experience of Thai people is they're very reluctant to lower the price on anything. They'd almost, if you've got a shop house, say, for sale, and someone offers you, less than you want, they'd rather not take the money than have something out of it.
We've all had experiences of that. I mean, how much you want for it? I want 20,000. I'll give you 15,000 for it now. I'm going to stay here always. No, and then you go back 3 years later and it's still empty.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, where's the logic in that? But there again, of course, they're just edging their bets that the value of the property goes up.
Yeah,
so
but, I think there's a reluctance to sort of say, well, let's make the most of a bad deal here. They just don't negotiate on certain things, and maybe they've got it right and we've got it wrong. I don't know.
Value for money, though, I would say now there's two things happened in Badia, like we spoke off air about this. Of course, the cost of living is going up, the electric's going up, the food is going up. In general, the cost of living here is going up. I mean, for people that live here, of course, because people that come on holiday don't really sort of pay that much attention really to what they're spending.
No.
I've got to say hello to Dwayne Tonkin. Hi, Dwayne. You okay? Over in Australia, he says hello to us. Dwayne, nice to see you again, by the way.
Right. Is Dwayne?
Dwayne, Duane. Dwayne, is that right?
Yeah.
I hope I say that right, Dwayne.
I was expecting it with a W in there somewhere.
No,
but
it's spelled Duane.
Yeah.
That's right, isn't it?
All right, yeah.
And you're the one that does all the typeset, so you should know.
Yeah.
Am I saying that right?
I should know, yeah.
Is that
You're
right?
Yeah, you're right.
Sure. Do you want to vote?
No.
We'll say to hello in Australia. Well, listen, the value for money here in Pattaya itself, I mean, me living here, and like a lot of people do, has seen the cost of living here going up and up and up and up. And sometimes they have fads of things that cost lots of money. One day eggs are, like nothing, and the next day, you need to take a gold bar to buy some, which I don't know why that happened, but also the lemon, the manao that we have here, they were 1 baht and 2 bahts, and now you get 5 for 100 baht. Things like that. I mean, it's just things that you sort of like.
Well, I've noticed since I've been back that there's a great propensity to among the ladies serving you in the bars that they'll actually ask now if you want lime in the top of a San Miguel, say. Whereas before, they'd just give it to you, and if you didn't use it, they'd just throw it away and not worry about it. But now the cost of those limes is such that they're saying, do you actually want some? And if you don't, thank you, you've saved us some money. So, that's a change, a small change.
Small change, but it's all,
but it's,
all adds up along the way.
Indicative of how things are going.
I mean, I would say before COVID, just taken from the UK to here and taken in consideration, being here for a period of time, say a month. Okay, I would say it's near enough 2.5 times the amount it used to be. At a guess.
I wouldn't argue with that. Certainly, it surprised me in an unpleasant way how much money I'm managing to work my way through here. As I say, without, I think, doing anything extravagant. Yeah. I mean, as I say, if you go in a bar and ring a bell, you got to expect a decent bill at the end of it. But I'm far too mean to do anything like that.
We've had a couple of more messages in from a couple of people here. Steve, he says, I came over on Emirates. He says, and we came over. The only flights that we could get was 76,587 baht. I mean, that's pretty high, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the best part of 2,000 quid.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best ticket for the time he wanted to come. That's it. I mean, my daughter, I know at the moment, is over in Norway. She wants to come over to here and see me and stay with me for a month. And she's been scouring, for prices for flights. She's got it down, I think she said the other day, she's got it down to 7,000 krona, which I believe is about £700.
Okay.
Which is not
Change
too
it out
bad.
of 1,000 is I'd bite the hand off.
I think if you're not fussy, about when you go or what you do, the prices do change.
Well, this is the problem. If you're locked into a date, then you've got no leeway. You can't say, okay, well, I understand the price is going to drop. 10 days later, because I want to go then. I mean, especially if you're on a 3-week holiday and you've booked the dates, you've given away your flexibility.
You have. All right, stay with us. Just a quick message from these guys. AX Media.
Our team of creatives, designers and developers collaborate closely to produce visually stunning and captivating digital experiences. Our team is carefully structured to deliver exceptional, personalized and inventive digital solutions from the initial idea to the final product launch. Talking Heads podcast live with Dave D and Dave Buckley.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, Dave Buckley in the studio. As per normal now, Dave, it's going to be a normal thing that we're on here chatting away.
Yes.
It's going to be frightening and good, isn't it?
You poor people out there.
We've had a laugh, and of course we'll be inviting people into the studio as well to join us on a weekly basis. So, and if you've got anything you'd like to talk about, drop us a line on YouTube on the chat now that's filling up as we see, and let us know how it's going. Are we entering? Somebody's just said, are we entering the rainy season now? Is that right?
I never understood seasons in Thailand. To me, it was always hot and blooming hot.
Yeah,
and so I mean, I guess there is a rainy season, but I couldn't tell you. I've never ever planned my travel here based on I can't go then. It's rainy season.
Yeah, because my daughter says, is it raining? Is it rainy season? I'm going,
well, it's been chucking it down last night, but
it clears so fast, doesn't it? Have you ever realised that? You're on Kautokeino, for example, or Kaunoe, and 1 minute it's nice and dry and it's fine, and the next thing is you've got a river in front of you. You can actually canoe down if you wanted to, and then it disappears so fast, doesn't it?
I used to have a Honda City car, fairly low-slung car. And I then went for a truck, not because I've always had an ambition to drive around in a truck, but because I thought, I want to be higher up. I want to get to that water and be reasonably confident that I'm actually going to get through it.
Do you think? I mean, the one thing that I can never understand in Paddy is, the infrastructure. They've always
used that word loosely,
very loosely, very loosely. I mean, what I couldn't understand is this, and just tell me if I'm wrong, and that is we had the COVID period and everybody was off and everybody was away and the place was pretty deserted, let's put it that way. And then suddenly everybody comes back and things start to change and things start to sort of get into a bit of rhythm, and then they decide to dig all the roads up. I mean,
you think they could have done that while COVID was on. Yeah.
And the thing is that I never understand is if you look and pay attention to what they're doing, they're actually digging up the same spot that they dug up last year to put in bigger things and then take them out and put in different. So it's like a never-ending cycle that I don't think they will ever get rid of the water problem here. I think that because I just don't think the whole infrastructure is built for it.
No, I think that's probably true, sadly.
Yeah.
But I mean, where I live, there's a road, the road that leads into the village that's been probably dug up virtually every time I've been here, for one reason or another.
It's the same spot all the time, no?
Well, it's always at the junction, right? Opposite the 7-Eleven sort of thing. And, so you have to take these big diversions, and I also think that's part of the reason why no bulk taxi will ever come near me, because they know they're going to have to do a big diversion, and it's more gas or petrol or whatever they want to call it.
And now, of course, what they're doing in Paddy at the moment, of course, is trying to clean up the cable mess, which, of course, as we know, you look up in the sky and it's spaghetti junction everywhere.
It's very unsightly.
Worrying and unsightly. What they are doing, of course, now is because of the cables down Walking Street, just in the last, I think, week, is that they're telling people to take their signs down. And as you see down Walking Street now, they're taking all the signs down and getting rid of the overhead cables, which I sort of understand and don't understand, because they block paved all of Walking Street, and now they're going to have to take it up again to put the cables down again.
You've got to keep these people in jobs, mate. It must be 6 months since we've dug this up. Let's have another go.
Let's have another go.
Let's see if we can get it right this time. Yeah.
But, hey, let's build all the sand back up, and tomorrow it'll all be washed away.
All right, yeah. It does seem to me that they like digging up certain parts of the infrastructure, and on a regular basis. What are they going to do the rest of the time? Things
are looking good, though. I think things are changing in Paddy. I do think that things are coming around again, slowly but surely. I think one of the things is that they need to lower the prices of the air tickets so people can come here and enjoy themselves. Because when you do get here, I mean, you can get hotels at the right price. You can go in and eat wherever you want to eat. If you want to eat noodles, you can eat noodles. If you want to eat steaks, you can eat steaks. You can do anything like that. So basically, getting here, like we've said, is the most important thing at the right price, no?
Yeah, I think I would like to think that if the similar problem arose in the UK, the government would step in with a subsidy to help lower the price of fares, to get people back into the way of doing it, to get people enjoying coming to Thailand again, and maybe wanting to visit on at least an annual basis. So, but such a thing wouldn't happen here.
I think a lot of people that used to come here on a regular basis, when you speak to them, they don't come here on a regular basis. Now you speak to them and say, hey, I used to come every May until June, April, whatever it was, and stay for 4 months. Now I can only afford to stay 2 months, and I can only come every second year because of the prices. I mean,
that may be me in a few years' time. Yeah, quite possible.
All right, okay, from me and Dave, a quick short burst today. All right, Dave, yeah? So from me, it's goodbye for now. And from